Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I want to thank you so much to everybody who engaged on the last video I posted. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. I don't know why I'm sweating so much because the fan is running the highest and the weather is not that hot. So I really don't know why I'm sweating so much. Anyway, pregnancy symptoms. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Once again, my name is Elizabeth John Douglas Akelemo, and I decided to use my full name to start the channel because what better way. So I'm here again with another video that I promise to be interesting and entertaining. And today's video I have a few points written down on things I wish I knew before having a baby. Everything I'm saying in this video are my experiences and exactly how I felt. And things I wish I knew before having a baby, or how I would have prepared my mind better before having a baby. Because obviously having a baby is not easy. It comes with a lot of responsibilities. So this video is about things I wish I knew before having a baby. So please do not click away. Promise this video is going to be entertaining because it's going to be very real, and I'm very sure expecting mothers already, and every person who is interested in videos like this will be able to pick one or two things and also be able to relate to everything I have to say, or most things I have to say, because obviously we're all different. So please stay back and continue watching. So the first point I have here is you experience joy deeper than you ever know. And I decided to write this in a generic way, like you experience joy deeper than you ever know, but this is basically for me. And when I had my son, or when I got pregnant for my son, I don't know, there was just this excitement that came with it, even if there was a lot of fear because of everything that happened. And there was just this excitement I had, this joy. And when I saw my son for the first time, I couldn't even explain the joy. Like, it was so beautiful. Like, he was a beautiful baby boy. It was so beautiful. He looked so, I'm like, God, what good thing did I ever do in my former life to make you bless me this way? Because I know in this life I've made a lot of mistakes, but I was just so happy when I saw him. And since then, I just knew that everything a mother could possibly do to make a child happy, I was ready to do it, and I am still ready to do it. So that's the first thing I know that I wish I knew before having a baby. Yes, I know this is positive side, but yes, I wish I knew that, because this goes to the second point of you become very protective, like a hawk. Yes, because you become very, very protective when you have a baby. This is your child. This is someone you want to protect. This is someone you never want any harm to happen to or before. And there's just no explanation to it. I just feel like this motherly instinct just comes in. And sometimes I just feel things like this stuff is about to happen. I don't know if it happens to other moms, but I just feel it in my spirit. Sometimes when my son is not feeling too well or about to be sick, I feel it's like this boy is not okay. So I just feel like it happens to every mom, and then all your motherly instincts just set up and happens. The next thing I will say is you will learn to enjoy the simplest things in life. For me, like hearing my baby laugh, smile. I remember the first time I saw him smile. This is after about a day or two after birth, and then he was smiling, and I'm like, wow, so they smile so fast. He was smiling, and he has always been a happy child. That is one thing I know that I found it funny, because I just felt like, oh, all this is just sleep, wake up and everything. But he has always been a happy baby. He was smiling, holding my hands, and it was so beautiful to watch. Then breastfeeding him, everything just made it look beautiful. And this is something I never knew would ever happen to me. Like, I don't know. The next on my list is you will love a child more than you ever knew was humanly possible. You know that time, those points in your life where you feel like, oh my God, I love this person, I love this person, I love this person. But when you become a mom, you know that the love you have for your child, you probably never experienced it or seen it or felt it in any way, whether from family members or from friends or relatives, because that love is so genuine. Like, your child does not even have to do anything for you to love them. That's exactly what I mean. And most times, as human beings, we love people who love us back, or we love people who show love to us. But at this point, even when your child is being annoying, just love them. So that's something that now I understand better. Obviously, I understand my mother better, because even when my siblings and I do things that are very annoying, she just loves us. So that, I feel like that's motherly instinct. It's something that nobody prepares you for. You just love people unconditionally. You just love your child unconditionally. And you know the way someone do something to you and then you hold grudges against the person. But when you have a child, it's like, no matter what you do to me, I'm still your mom. No matter what you do to me, or no matter what you do, that motherly instincts of loving this person unconditionally will just set in to just forgive them. So the next point on my list is motherhood will give you strength you didn't know you had and fear you didn't know existed. Yes. Because I'll say this, because in every area of my life since I had my son, the way I've lived my life since I had my son, I never knew I had such strength in me. Let's even start from the labor room. The strength of going through labor and giving birth, I never knew I had that strength in me, sincerely. And then the period of raising him, and even when things become difficult, when I have to leave him for a while with my parents to travel, and sometimes I just tell myself that this is for a purpose, this is for times and seasons. And even with this pregnancy currently, it's like I am ready to do everything possible to make sure that in the nearest future, when my children see me, they'll be like, oh my god, that's my mommy. Oh my god, I'm so proud of my mom. And when they see you, and then I have this feeling even as a child, sometimes when I see my, not sometimes, even as a child and then as an adult now, when I see my mom, I see my dad, I'm like, I can't even be more proud of these persons in my life. And that's the same feeling I want my child to have when they see me. Like, my mom never stopped pushing, my mom never stopped trying. My mom became who she was despite everything in life. Like, that's exactly what I want my child to say whenever they talk about their mom or their parents. And then fear, sometimes when fear comes in or creeps in. Example, when my child is about something, my child is about to do something, and then I'm just like this motherly instinct of diving over to be like, stop this immediately. You get. And then this fear of, hope I'm doing the right thing, hope I'm not going to, hope I'm being the right mom, hope I'm also feeding my son very well. You get it. Like, sometimes I have that fear, hope he's eating the right things, hope I'm also taking care of him very well. Sometimes even when I see a little rash on his body, I'm like, what happened to you here? Immediately I'm ready to look for a way to treat it, or look for a way to start cleaning his neck. Sometimes I'm like, okay, in the afternoon, even when he has not had his bath, even when I don't want to bathe him, maybe because he's not really sweating, but because of the rash on his neck, I just want to put a towel to clean his neck and then rub powder on it. Like, there's just this motherly instinct, this fear that comes in. Oh, I don't want anything to happen. Are you comfortable? Are you sure you're okay? Are you sure you're fine? And then this fear of every day when I pray, I'm like, God protect my child. Another thing I wish I knew before having a baby was first few weeks of having a baby is difficult. It is hard, especially as a first time mom. And the first few weeks of having my son was exhausting. It was exhausting for me mentally, physically, emotionally, because I just felt like, okay, we've gone through the whole 9 months, and the next thing, oh, you're going to have a baby, you're going to carry your baby, you're going to love your baby, and stuff like that. But when I had my baby, yes, I love my baby, yeah, and I still love my baby, but it was just this anxiety that steps in, like, oh my god, this is reality, like reality check. You're tired, you're exhausted, but you still have to take care of this baby. No matter the assistance you get from other persons, there's just this feeling in your heart that I hope you're doing enough, hope you're trying your best, hope you're giving it your all, hope this is the right thing you're doing. Because no matter the assistance you get from persons, you're still this child's mom, and you still have to put your best foot out for this baby. The first month, sometimes the first 6 weeks, sometimes the first 2 months, sometimes even the first 1 year of your baby's birth, especially the kind of support system you have. The first month of having a baby is very, very, at least for me, it was very difficult mentally, because there's just a lot going on. You have a small child, a little baby that you brought into this world voluntarily, and then you worry if you're doing the right thing, you worry if you're doing your best, you worry if your child is getting the best assistance, you worry if you're feeding your child properly, you worry if you're inculcating the right behavior into your child, giving your whole life to this baby. And then sometimes you forget about yourself, and then it becomes difficult. Your brain is everywhere, your brain is trying to be a great mom, and then you're leaving yourself behind. So that is one thing I really wish I knew when having a baby, before having a baby, that this will happen. And then I should try to put my mind at the right place. It's not going to be easy. Some people call it baby blues, especially the first few weeks of giving birth, while some people call it anxiety and depression. It happens to people differently. I think there are 2 stages to these things. And I think I suffer from baby blues. I won't call it depression, but I suffer from baby blues. Like, I was just overwhelmed because, oh my god, at this point you've given birth. Okay, yes, you've given birth, and then your body is not moving from being pregnant. You still look very, very pregnant. And at least my tongue did not come down so fast. Some people's tummy came down so fast. But you see on the internet, and that's another point I want to make. Get your mind off the internet. People show you their best angles. People show you the best sides of them. People show you the points where their body looks best. So get your mind off the internet and put your mind in a place of, I'm going to get there daily, one step at a time, little by little. You'll be exhausted while breastfeeding. For someone like me who did exclusive breastfeeding and even breastfed when it was almost a year, it was 11 months and a few weeks when I stopped breastfeeding. So, first few weeks of breastfeeding, let's say first 2 months of breastfeeding was exhausting. One, because of the kind of nipple I have, so it was very hard to put it into his mouth and then make him suck. And then you're bending your body to this part, you're still not properly healed from giving birth, from the operation. Everything was just so hard and difficult for me, at least for me. And then sometimes you hear people say, try and breastfeed him now, bend over now. Look at, like, so many insensitive comments, and it's very irritating. It was very irritating to me, at least. So that period of breastfeeding, sometimes I totally understand when people say, oh, I don't want to breastfeed. But as I continued breastfeeding, I even enjoyed breastfeeding him. Because at some point, when I got to the 6 months exclusive breastfeeding phase, it was over. And then I had to start feeding him. Oh God. Weaning him to start eating was another exhaustion. Because we've gotten used to him breastfeeding. The baby also gotten used to breastfeeding, and then he always wants to be breastfed. And then at this point, I want to feed him, and then he's not eating. And then you're exhausted because you've taken your time to make this food, prepare this meal, and then the baby is not eating. And then you're like, is my breast milk still enough for this baby? Why is he not eating? You're just worried. And at some point, I just had to tell myself, this boy is looking so healthy, so why am I worried? I just had to stop it, because at the beginning stage of breastfeeding, I was very exhausted. exhausted. So I didn't want to get exhausted while winning him. If he wants to eat, fine. If he does not want to eat, fine. So long as he looks healthy to me, so long as he's not falling sick, so long as he's fine, I was fine. So the next one is, it's okay if everything is a mess for a while. This goes into my home, my life, and everything in general. Like when I had my baby, for someone like me who likes things being in order, who likes things being neat, my home being clean, when I had my baby, and I couldn't do this all by myself, but I wanted to, because before having my baby I didn't have help, and then having a baby and getting to the point of these things are not being done, I was really exhausted. And even when people are trying to help you and they're not helping you the way you want to be helped, this sounds so selfish, but that's exactly how I felt. They're not helping you the way you want to be helped. Example, they're not cleaning the place the way you love to clean it. They're not sweeping the house the way you want the house to be swept. They're not arranging the place the way you want the house to be arranged. You can be exhausted because you're like, why can't you just do this thing exactly the way I'll do it? And then this comes to the point where you're a human being, so you have to calm down. I've not gotten to that point of my life yet, but I'm getting there. And that's why with my second baby, I was very intentional about finding help. Like at least someone who's going to do things quite similarly the way I want it to be done. Do you understand? So I think before having a baby, you should put things in place, like put what you want to be done in place, like how you want your house to be kept clean in place. Maybe hiring somebody who can clean your house the way you want it to be cleaned, or bulk, making food in bulk. Yes, I'll get to do that very soon. Making food in bulk and stocking it in your fridge, because when you have a baby, you get exhausted. You won't be able to do all that. And I'm so grateful to the fact that I had my parents. After I came to the hospital, after I left the hospital, I came home and I stayed home for about 2 days before I went to my parents' place. So that support I got from my parents was beautiful, because without them, I don't even know how I would have survived that period. You know, my mom cooked every day for me. My dad would always there check up on me. My siblings were around me. Even if I was overwhelmed, but I saw the love around me. And I knew that this was something that most people who could not experience this would be grateful to experience. So I was also very grateful to experience that kind of love. So having a baby, you have to prepare for stuff like this. You have to prepare for aftercare. Who's going to be there for you? If you have family members, if you don't have family members, you need to hire a help. You need to hire someone who's going to cook for you. And if you don't want to hire someone who's going to cook for you, you have to stock up your fridge properly, or get things in place. At least you put your mental health in check. So the next thing I would say is, try not to listen to people a lot, because every baby is unique. You know, when Mrs. A comes to the house to visit the baby, I'm like, oh, this baby is so big, oh. At least I'm talking from my experience. This baby is so big, oh. Calm down on feeding this baby, I beg. How big do you want this baby to become again? That is what another mother who has had children will tell another mother. Some people will also come and say, as you're giving birth like this now, see the way you're coming. You should start tying your belly, you start looking snatched. And I'm like, really? Just really? Take a look at this one. Another one will come and say things like, oh, your baby has gotten to 8 months, 7 months, 9 months, and he's not yet walking. No, he's not even moving yet. When my baby was even 6 months, he already started walking. And I'm like, madam, can you calm down? Can you just rest? Shebi is the baby that was not walking at 6 months. 9 months. Even at 1, no, my son started walking for 1. But as at 11 months, 10 months, 10 months, he was not yet walking. I think he started walking 11 months. He was not yet walking at 10 months. He could stand, and move his, like when he's holding things, obviously he could move, but he could not. And then you hear people say things like, oh, it's because he's too fat, it's because his leg is this one, and because his leg is that one. And then I thank God for the kind of nature I have, and I was always ready to respond to them, because if I didn't have that kind of nature, maybe I'll be sulking and then thinking about things that were not even worth it. So you have to protect your mental space a lot. This video has a lot of mental check, because motherhood is going to stress you mentally. People around you are going to stress you mentally. You have to always think about, what, okay, am I doing the right thing? Am I feeding my baby properly? Is anything that my baby overweight? My baby obese? If your answer is no, then try to block your ear from things that are unreasonable. If the way you're dressing your baby up is affecting another person, like example, oh, this is your baby that is looking this way, he's so fine, he even looks like a woman, and then people will go on to say things like, he's going to be chasing women, no, he's going to be doing this one, he's going to be doing that one. And I'm like, every evil projection of my son, God forbid, because the son I want to raise is a son who is going to be a good man, and a good man to the wife he's going to get married to, a good man to the women he meets, and a good person. He's not going to be a heartbreaker, he's not going to be a womanizer, because those are the kind of things that they just project into your heart. Those are the kind of rubbish things people say. I think being beautiful actually affects a lot of people. Like, it affects their mental health, because they can't even stand the fact that this person is this fine. So they say a lot of rubbish. And then presently being pregnant, people come and say things like, hope your next baby is going to be finer than this boy, hope your son has not taken all the beauty, and I'm like, can you rest? Like, can you rest? People don't know how to rest. People don't know how to shut up their mouth. People don't know how to mind their business. I think that's something people need to know how to do. Mind their business. Because how is it your problem that as a mom who is pregnant, this is to project good things? Oh my God, you have a beautiful baby. Oh my God, your baby is going to be very beautiful. You see your son looking so beautiful. But no, they won't say things like that. They'll end up saying things like, most times male children, when they come out like this, their female siblings are ugly. I'm like, can you rest? If your brother ended up being finer than you are, I'm very sorry for you. But that's not the prayer I'm praying for my child. That's not the projection I'm trying to have to my baby. So please carry your negative energy out of my face. And that's the energy a lot of persons come with. I've heard a lot of this pregnancy. And then I'm like, these people are mothers. These people are people who have children. These people are people who have families of their own. So why can't you just be mentally reasonable? No, they cannot. So that's why in this situation, in this generation, and if you're pregnant, you have to be ready to not just mentally put your mind out of the negative you hear, but also be able to verbally tell people that whatever evil projection you're projecting on my child, back to you, because all this is you're saying are not going to happen to my baby. God knows the abundance of the heart. That's what the mouth speaks. And then you too, you also have to have the power of your tongue to project good things to yourself. So that's how I've decided to live my life, and I wish I knew this earlier when having my son, because there were a lot of rubbish things ahead when I was pregnant for my baby. Next thing I want to say is, I think I've said it before earlier, but I won't say it again. Your body will change after childbirth, and it will change a lot. It will change so much that sometimes you may never get back to the way your body was pre-baby. You may never get back to that size. You may never get back to that shape. But one thing I want you to know is that no matter how much your body changes, the first thing you have to do is prepare your mind. Dress up nicely. Try and exercise. I'm not the best person to talk about exercising, because I exercise. I'm a very lazy person when it comes to exercising. But I try my best. I try to, even if I know I don't exercise, I try to cut off on junk, because I discovered that junks are what make people actually angry, not even the main food you eat. Try to cut off on junks, and I try my best to stop picky eating, because naturally I'm not a picky eater, but pregnancy sometimes will give you craving. Even breastfeeding will make it worse. Give you cravings for you to be able to, at least you're breastfeeding, so you be able, when you want to feed your child more, you want to eat more, so stuff like that. But since you're no longer breastfeeding and you really want to lose this weight, and that's an intentional step for you to take. So one thing I know I stop doing is picky eating at night, or generally trying to cut down what I eat, because I know I am not very strong at exercising. I don't want to deceive myself. I know it's a very good habit to take, but sometimes I walk, sometimes I try my possible best to do home exercises. I skip. I got a skipping rope after I had my son. I skip sometimes. I did not join any gym, but at least the body I had before I had this pregnancy, I was very happy with it. It was not the body I had before I had my son, but it was the body I was happy with, the body I loved, and the body I was happy at where it was. You get, my tummy was not flat, but at least it was not excessively big. You get, and even with everything I did, I was still not where I wanted it to be, but I was happier than the way it was before, when I had my son. Because when I had my baby, I was 98 kg, and now I laugh because I'm I am already 96 kg. I was 98 kg before I had my son, and after I had my son, it took a while before I even got back to 74 kg, because I was 74 kg I got pregnant for my baby. It took a while, but before I had my baby, my son, I was around 65 kg. So I never go back to that pre-baby weight, but I loved my body as what it was before I had my baby. I was not so big, but I was not slim either. Another thing is, if you don't love yourself, your body, you find it very easy to believe whatever projection people make at you, or whatever comment they throw at you, because people have a way of always talking. They never stop talking. So whatever a person says to you, you find it easier to believe when you even believe it yourself. So even before they even say it, it's already in your heart about yourself. Then your self-esteem will be down, because whatever they say just affects you. Whatever they say just moves you. Let's not even talk about our supportive partners. Let's just leave them out of this for today. But you have to love yourself. Self-care. Make your hair. If you like doing your nail, I really don't like doing my nail, but make your nail if you like doing your nails. Your toenails, do a manicure, do a pedicure. Look nice. You don't have to you don't have to make up. Make your skin look nice. Bathe. The best skincare routine anybody will ever tell you is, please have your bath at least twice a day. Have your bath. Look nice. Even if you're raising a child, at least you to look nice. Let your baby tell you, Mommy, where are you going to? Because sometimes when I look very nice, my son will ask, Mommy, where are you going to? And I'm like, I don't blame you. Look nice. Make your hair. Even if you don't want to make your hair like maybe attachable because of the heat and everything, at least let your cornrow look presentable. Those days when you look tired, pack your hair properly. Sometimes when you pack your hair in a ponytail, you just change your look. You won't comb your hair, you will not wash the hair, you will not bathe. Oh yeah, buy deodorant, wahala. You cannot do anymore. But every time you're complaining of how you look, everything somebody says to you affects you. Your clothes too, you will not iron. And then you say things like, oh, my baby is the one taking all my time. Of course, your baby will take all your time, because that's why you're a mom, to give all your time to your child. But you have to make time for yourself. Make time to look good. Not make time to look good. Yes, make time to look good. Take yourself out sometimes. Introverts like me that don't like going out, I understand. But there are sometimes, even if you don't want to go out, just put your child in a place where you know, okay, his attention is here. And then you too use that as your personal time to also take care of yourself, to look good, to look nice, to put your mental health in order. Probably you're reading a book, probably you're going through stuff for yourself, you're going through the internet on your own, at least a few hours by yourself, where you're not just answering mommy. Because sometimes you get tired of hearing mommy. And I'm like, if what is it? Oh yeah, what is it? And then they don't even have anything to say, tell you. You just want that attention. So sometimes give yourself that attention you're giving to your child, and you'll be happy you did so. You may not enjoy being a mother all the time, but the truth is that you're a mom, so you always have to show up. And then you should know that being a happy mom is all your child needs. Your child does not always need that clean house, so sometimes allow the house to be a mess. Your child does not always need that fancy food, so sometimes make bread and tea and give your son and he'll be happy. So you don't have to overthink this thing. Sometimes I'm like, am I giving him too much bread and tea? But he's happy eating the bread and tea. Sometimes I'm like, okay, probably he doesn't want to. Probably some people will be like, Indomie generation, you always give your child noodles. My dear, he's happy eating noodles. Is he complaining? He's not complaining. So leave me alone. The day I have strength to make the delicious, sweet, nice, you may not even eat it here. That's even the worst part of all this thing I'm saying. You may not eat it. So you end up wasting your time making a very sweet jollof rice, and then the boy will not eat it. Or making a very sweet, nice, vegetable, beautiful, tasty soup, and then the boy doesn't want to eat gari. What are you going to do? Force the gari to his throat? Obviously not. So everything you do, just try your best. Be a loving mom. Be present. Even those days where you're tired and exhausted, give yourself time. If you have a good support group like your family members, take your child there, and then they'll be happy to accept your baby, especially if grandparents always love their grandchildren no matter what their children do to them. I don't know why I'm saying this. I'm just laughing at myself. Carry your child to their grandparents. Pack their bag. You don't even need the invitation. Just pack their bag and dump them there, and they'll be happy to see their grandchild. No matter what happens, no matter the quarrel you or your parents are having, they'll be happy to see their grandchild. They cannot send their grandchild away. So try and have a good support system. Try and make friends who are mothers too, because it's easier to talk to a mom who is going through this also. It's easier to laugh about this with a mom. I'm not saying you should not have friends who are not mothers. I'm just saying that it's just easier to have friends who understand. Okay, let me not just say mothers, who understand what you're going through and who are genuine enough to give reasonable advice. So I've spoken so much on this motherhood journey, and I hope you were able to pick one or two things from this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Those people who dropped comments in my last video, I hope I replied every comment. I'm so grateful. Like, it means a lot to me. You don't even understand, because it took me a while to get to this point I am in right now, where I can sit in front of the camera and say this. Yes, I am not where I want to be yet, but little by little, showing up every day, I know I'm going to be where I want to be. So thank you so much for watching. I can't even emphasize this so big enough. Thank you so much for watching. Please and please, I want you to like this video. I want you to comment. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share this video with your family members. It will mean so much to me. Send it to as much people as you can send it to. Tell them to subscribe. Tell them to like. Tell them to watch my channel. And I promise my channel to be entertaining. My channel is going to be about motherhood, like I said earlier in my last video, about motherhood, about lifestyle, because this is presently the life I'm living right now, being a mom. My channel is also going to be about my business, which I'm going to talk about very soon. My life as a mom, career, and everything in between. So thank you so much for watching. As you follow me on this journey, I promise to continue to entertain you. I promise to continue to make this channel educative. One thing I forgot to say before ending this video is, you need to be a praying mom. because there are a lot of things that are going to shake you, and the only person you can run to in truth and honesty is God. There are a lot of things that are going to shake your mental health. There are a lot of things that are going to shake you physically. There are a lot of things that are going to shake you as just a person. And then you question, am I really doing this the right way? Only God can give you that peace. So, to be the best mom you can be, you need to love God. You need to know God for yourself. You need to put your heart at peace with God. So, at all times, whenever you feel overwhelmed, even when you don't feel overwhelmed, every morning, stand up and try to pray. Try to talk to God about your child. Try to talk to God about your life. Try to talk to God about your marriage. Try to talk to God if you're married. Try to talk to God also about your situation you're in. He's someone who will always listen. He's God the Father. Before anything, He's your Father. The way I would talk to my dad is the way I will talk to God, because He's God the Father. He's God that loves us unconditionally. He's God that is there to listen without judgment. So why will you want to carry your problem first of all to go and tell another human being who is also full of problems, instead of you carrying your problems straight to God? Not even just your problems, your anxieties, your fears, even the good times. Tell God, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for making me happy. Thank you for making my child beautiful. Thank you for making my life this good. Not every time you always go to God with problem. Sometimes just thank Him. Thank Him for every good thing He has done for you. And watch Him do things. Watch Him tick all your prayer points and make your life beautiful. Because I know that if you walk in God and you walk with God, your life, though challenges and difficulty will come your way, but there will just be this peace that God gives. And the Bible says, peace that passeth all understanding. And that's the peace you have when you walk with God truly, in all sincerity and genuinely. So, most importantly, to be a great mom, to be a good mom, you have to know God. And knowing Him is knowing Him truly for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Love you.